Hello guys, welcome to i-tutor Academy. In today's session, we will start with the unit 11, that is compensation and rewards management. So first of all, we will see the objectives of this chapter. After reading this unit, you should be able to appreciate compensation management function and objectives, analyze compensation issues and trends, assess the characteristics of executive compensation and its determinants, understand the principles and practice of compensation administration, identify the major component of wage structure in India, formulate different reward system in an organizational settings, and take note of different type of employee benefit and their trends. So these are the objectives of this unit. So after that, we will discuss the structure of this unit. So first of all, there is an introduction of this chapter and compensation management, compensation policies and objectives, compensation administration, compensation determinants, compensation survey is there, and after that its structure and the structure in India, and executive compensation, reward system, forms of reward, employee benefit and summary, and at last the self-assessment questions also there. So let's begin with the introduction. One of the most difficult function of human resource management is that of determining the rates of monetary compensation. It is not only complex but significant both to the organization and employees. Employee compensation decisions are crucial for the success of an organization. From a cost perspective alone, effective management of employee compensation is critical because of the total operating cost. Another reason for studying compensation from the organization's perspective is to assess its impact on a wide range of employee attitudes and behaviors, and ultimately the effectiveness of the organization and its units. Compensation may directly influence key outcomes like job satisfaction, attraction, retention, performance, skill acquisition, cooperation, and flexibility. Reward systems and their role in organization have been studied from many perspectives and by multiple disciplines. Economics, sociology, and psychology in particular have contributed to the growing literature on reward system. Reward systems have a wide-ranging impact on organizations, and that their impact is greatly affected by their design and by organizational context in which they operate. Thus, to understand pay system in organizations, it is necessary to focus on the characteristics of both the organization and the pay system. Often, new lines of business require a different approach and therefore a different reward system. Simply putting the old reward system in the new business is often not good enough and indeed can lead to failure. On the other hand, developing a new reward system for one part of an organization can cause problem in other parts because of the comparison made between different parts. Next is compensation management. The compensation function contribute to the organizational effectiveness in four basic ways. First one is compensation can serve to attract qualified applicants to the organization. Other things being equal, an organization offering a higher level of pay can attract a large number of qualified applicants than its competing units. And second is compensation helps to retain competent employee in the organization. Although retaining competent workers is contingent on many factors, compensation policies help by maintaining a fair internal pay structure and by providing attractive benefit. Turnover is thus reduced along with the cost associated with the recruiting, selecting and training replacements. And third is compensation serves as an incentive to motivate employee to put forth their best effort. Manufacturing and sales organizations, for example, use monetary incentives to attain higher levels of production or sales without hiring additional employees. When employees put forth their best effort, average productivity of labor increases. With increased productivity, fewer employees are needed to achieve the same level of output. Thus, labor costs are reduced and organizational profitability is increased. Minimizing the cost of compensation can also contribute to organizational effectiveness since compensation is a significant cost for most employers. In brief, compensation is provided for two reasons, namely as a reward for past service to the enterprises and as stimulus to increase performance in the future. Next is compensation policies and objectives. The aim of compensation statement is to set down the company's policy with regard to salary. It is a responsibility of all concerned to implement the compensation policies and to explain the same fully to their subordinates. The compensation policy should aim, first one is to recognize the value of all job in relation to each other within the company. And next is to take account of wage rates paid by companies of similar size, product, and philosophy. And third is to ensure stable earnings. And fourth one is to enable individual to reach their full earning potential as far as is reasonably practicable. And fifth is to ensure employee share in the company's prosperity as a result of increasing efficiency. And the objective of any compensation system are numerous and might include the following. First one, to enable the employee to earn a good and reasonable salary or wage and to pay equitable sums to different individuals avoiding anomalies. And third one is to reward and encourage high quality work and output. And fourth one is to encourage employees to develop better method of working and their acceptance, and to discourage wastage of material or equipment, and to encourage employees to use their initiative and discretion. And next is to discourage overtime working unless it is very essential. And fourth one is compensation administration. Compensation administration is the primary purpose of compensation. The primary purpose of its a sound compensation system and for employee and equitable compensation for services rendered. The objective of a sound compensation administration program can be subdivided into specific sub-goals. First one is equitable payment in proportion to relative work to the organization. Second is the consistency of payment between comparable occupations. And third is adjustment of payments in relation to change in the labor market. And fourth one is recognition of individual capability and proficiency. Fifth is comprehension of the plans by supervision and management. Sixth is the procedure to solve compensation problem rationally. And famous management scientist Dale Beach has presented 7 principles of compensation administration. And the enterprise should have a clear-cut plan to determine differential pay level in terms of divergent job requirement involving varied skill, effort, responsibility, and working conditions. An attempt should be made to keep the general level of wages and salaries of the enterprise in line with that obtained in the labor market or industry. And third one is the adequate care should be taken to distinguish people from the jobs. And fourth is irrespective of individual considerations, care should be taken to ensure equal pay for equal work depending upon flexibility of jobs. Of course, the variation may be permitted within a pay range. There should be a plan to adapt equitable measure for recognizing individual differences in ability and contribution. Attempt should be made to provide some procedure for handling wage grievances, and adequate care should be taken to inform the employee and the uniform if any about the procedure followed in determining the wage rates. If the first goal of attracting capable employee to the organization is to be achieved, personnel must be perceived that the compensation offer is fair and equitable. As a first step in the pursuit of equity, there should be established consistent and systematic relationship among base compensation rates for all jobs within the organization. The process of such a establishment is termed job evaluation, which we have already discussed in unit 5. You can go through that video also. And Next is the compensation determinants. At the outset, it is important to distinguish between two related but different questions. First one can ask what factor account for individual differences in pay within an organization. An extensive literature suggests that education, experience, performance, and other individual differences play some role. Also, product market and labor market play a crucial role in pay determination and product market. Pay level of labor market and product market competitors play an important role in determining pay levels. Dunlop, that is in 1957, argues that product market competition places an upper boundary on pay level because organizations in a particular industry encounter similar constraints of technology, raw materials, product demand, and pricing. Thus, an organization will find itself at a competitive disadvantage in the product market if its labor costs exceed those of its competitors, and the reason being such a cost will ordinarily be reflected to some extent in higher prices for its products. And labor market organizations not only compete solely in the product market but also in the labor market. Maruti Udyog, for example, competes for technicians and managers with similar such an organization. A pay level that is too low relative to these competitors could lead to difficulties in attracting and retaining the sufficient number of quality employees. As such, labor market competition can be seen as placing a lower boundary on pay level. In order to avoid such a situation, many companies emphasize that their total compensation is equal to or better than other companies in the market. So this is about today's section, and next section 11.6 compensation survey we will start on next video onwards. If you have any doubt, you can contact our contact number also, or you can comment it on our comment box also. Thank you so much.